Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I am sharing what I think will be my last match I share from our Siege 2 launch event. We played some 6-pack sealed between Siege 1 and Siege 2. My opponent here is running what looks like a Cars deck between Chromia, Sideswipe, and Deadlock, which is interesting. So he's going to have a mercenary, probably a couple mercenary cards in there to help Deadlock get his mercenary ability off. I know he had some success in previous rounds, so this one is interesting to me because I think, Deadlock will stay protected with his stealth ability. Sideswipe, I'm surprised he doesn't have more small guys, so Sideswipe gets the +2 pump when they die. I'm not sure what the intention behind Chromia is, but he starts out swinging Chromia. And I think I know he's got some tools to make Deadlock pretty big, I saw in previous games. So he puts 2 damage on Trailbreaker, no need to worry about the force field there. But with it not tripped, that means Trailbreaker does get Brave. Right now it looks for weapons. I don't have much to put on Ion Storm, so I go ahead and put a Smoke Thrower on and swing into Chromia, relying on just Ion Storm's big attack stat. The Bolt does actually help me out here. I'm able to put 8 damage on Chromia, which I am perfectly fine with. And I'm not worried about Ion Storm getting a ton of damage on this turn, and then Trailbreaker's Brave will be able to go into effect. We see the Specialist Armor go on Chromia. She's an interesting choice here. I feel like more value would have been gotten out of smaller guys so that they could die and feed Sideswipe. And in addition to that, her abilities I don't think are great in Limited. We see a designated target on Sideswipe to give him Pierce 2 to get some damage through on Ion Storm. Which, Ion Storm has 3 damage on him. Again, not that worried about it. I'm trying to think here. I'm pretty sure Trailbreaker can kill Chromia if possible. I go ahead and play Wedge Formation, heal, and draw. And I've got an Anticipation Engine. Hopefully I can, on this attack, flip something useful to maybe have a little bit of a pump. Maybe a Bold or something? It's a secret action. I'll go ahead and play it. And unfortunately, I don't get there. Chromia still has 1 damage on her, so this is where that special delivery card that I did not put into my sealed deck list would have come in very handy. Now my opponent gets to attack with Deadlock. Deadlock is swinging into Trailbreaker here since Trailbreaker does have the Brave. Deadlock does have a Soldier's Blaster on him. I go ahead and flip my defensive formation. Doesn't help me, but I've got the force field on me anyway, so I'm fine taking that sort of swing away from Ion Storm and onto Trailbreaker. So I think overall my strategy's not terrible here. We untap. And yeah, Chromia is... I gotta waste a turn on her because I don't have special delivery. I chose not to pull that card. And it's unfortunate because she is not doing much, but it would be nice to get that attack off the field. I go ahead and play a Covert Armor, get Trailbreaker's Brave back up because my opponent will get a wheel swing on me here. I swing into Chromia now. Might as well take an attack off. Hopefully, yeah, Chromia's not flipping the defense she needs. And yeah, I think overall, pretty good position for the game. Now it's 2 wide. 2 wide, my guys have some damage on me. But the nice thing is that Soldier's Blaster, if my opponent's not careful, that Soldier's Blaster on Deadlock goes away with Ion Storm. I have ways to get rid of that. I know he's running a shoulder, a shoulder holster to allow him to have other weapons, but that's where Ion Storm gives me that bouncing ability I need. And Trailbreaker survives here. He's got 12 damage on him, but I am fine with that. And now I get to attack into Deadlock, which is exactly what I want, because I think he's the bigger threat versus Sideswipe. Sideswipe will get his +2s, but I'm okay with that. And I've got a Soldier's Blaster of my own. And there's a wedge formation, hoping to get some tools for the next turn. And go ahead, Ion Storm into Deadlock here. And yeah, not the defense he wanted. Deadlock's gone. I've got this game. I think the first game's locked in. And yeah, I mentioned it during my build video, but Ion Storm is a common card, but he's a bomb and limited. Just great stats and a great limited ability. I've seen some interesting takes on him in Constructed. I don't know that he quite does what he needs to do in the Constructed format, but it's still neat to see what everyone does. With a Soldier's Blaster and Fight for Position on Sideswipe here, this swing is very deadly, but Trailbreaker has his Brave, so he's got to waste all that attack. I'm not sure why he played everything, because it wasn't going to take that much to kill Trailbreaker. But he is dead. But now Ion Storm gets to bounce the weapon off of Sideswipe, preventing my opponent from stacking additional weapons, and I go ahead and play Defensive Configuration, which lets me play a Force Field, which makes me very happy. I get a Secret Action down. I mean, this is a game I feel very in control of here. I bounce the Soldier's Blaster, put 7 damage on Sideswipe. I don't think my opponent has any way to get rid of my Force Field, so I am not worried there. And I go ahead and reveal Sabotage Armaments, which does scrap the Soldier's Blaster. So my opponent doesn't even get past the Force Field, it's still there, and I'm at 5 damage. I think at this point, I mean, this match went by very fast. I think the total time was like 25 minutes or so. So my opponent has Heroic Resolve, which lets Sideswipe survive at 1 damage remaining. You know, keep the game going for another turn. I've got a Secret Action down. I'm not too worried about things. Yeah, I noticed there I could have played the second Force Field. They didn't bother. I think for this game, it's kind of reached its conclusion. Putting another 4 damage on Ion Storm, and now Ion Storm swings. And there's a Fuel Cache. Just seeing what my tools are. Yeah, that first Force Field should have been scrapped. Nothing there. Just kind of fishing. Go ahead and swing Ion Storm. Bounce the weapon. I don't care about his battlefield report. There is the game. So we go to game 2 now. And the question here is, what might my opponent do differently? I think the problem is against Ion Storm, he wants Deadlock to get big so he can get off his bounty ability, but since I don't have little weenie guys, Deadlock's bounty ability only comes into play once per game, right? He'll kill one of my guys, get the bounty off, hopefully if he's lucky. So it kind of being too tall like this does put mercenaries at a bit of a disadvantage because they're understated a little bit because of their bounty abilities. Not having other little guys to feed Sideswipe also puts my opponent at a bit of a disadvantage. It's all kind of this one. I know he did very well in the tournament up until this point, but I think this was a tough match in particular for him. It was a very uphill battle. So he decides to have me go first. I draw for my turn, and I think on his first turn he's only going to be able to play an action or a weapon. I'm not worried about the damage. Can I kill someone on turn 1? Probably not, but let me go ahead and swing into Sideswipe here. And he does flip his double pips, taking only 5 damage, which, you know, is fine. Not the biggest deal. So he goes ahead and plays Pep Talk, draws 2, and then flips Chromia, or wait, attacks with Chromia. Oh, okay, flips Sideswipe, attacks with Chromia into Ion Storm, giving Sideswipe a bit of cover. I think, yeah, that's fine. He needs time to build his guys up, and if I got another swing at a Sideswipe with a weapon and possibly a pump, that might be real hard to recover from. I go ahead and play Erratic Canyon, because that's the best weapon I have at hand at the moment. Trailbreaker's kind of kitted out right now. Flip him so he's got the Brave, and I've got Heat of Battle. So there are... didn't need Heat of Battle. There's all my whites. But I'm still doing a decent amount of damage to Chromia, who did not flip the defense pips she wanted to see, which is unfortunate. Yeah, Chromia taking 9 damage. That's a good swing for Trailbreaker. I'm sure I won't get another one like that this game, but I don't think I need one with that much damage laid out on the table. I know my opponent doesn't really have a ton of healing stuff in his deck. So this is a very good move on his part. At first I was confused by the Soldier's Blaster, but with Battlefield Scan, Trailbreaker's Brave doesn't matter, and he lets Sideswipe swing into Ion Storm here. It's still only 4-5. I might have let Sideswipe swing into Ion Storm and then put the Soldier's Blaster on Deadlock to swing to try and get more damage through. 6 damage on Ion Storm is not something I'm worried about, especially with Trailbreaker having Brave on the next turn. I go ahead and play my own Soldier's Blaster here, and then it's me thinking about if I can kill Sideswipe from this turn. I play a secret action. Sideswipe, I need to deal 7 damage to kill, which is where I'm at 10, so I can definitely kill Sideswipe on this turn. And then Trailbreaker can clean up after Chromia. I decide to go ahead and kill Chromia now, maybe forcing my opponent to swing with Deadlock on the next turn, and I'd be perfectly fine to put some damage on a Deadlock as Sideswipe is forced to swing in a Trailbreaker. I don't get the Erratic Cannon off, but I still killed Chromia. And then now my opponent has to think about what he wants to do without being able to ignore Trailbreaker's Brave. He knows he's going to go into him. He medics to take 2 damage off Sideswipe, and he does have a second Soldier's Blaster to put on Deadlock, which is nice. I mean, now Ion Storm will still take a big hit from Deadlock, or I guess Trailbreaker in this case. I do get some nice defense flips, only taking 2 damage on Trailbreaker, not triggering my force field, giving me Brave for another turn. I guess he can hope that now that he's reshuffled, he can get past the Brave again, but we'll see if that happens. I go ahead and play my defensive configuration. I don't get a second shield, but I go ahead and play Wedge Formation to get a health off of Trailbreaker and draw a card for Ion Storm. Now Ion Storm can Soldier's Blaster into Sideswipe, bouncing his second weapon and taking him off the field. Now the question is, maybe Deadlock here can get the shoulder holster to get another weapon up and get a big hit on Trailbreaker if he could also bounce the force field, but I think that's asking too much from a sealed deck. He plays a secret action, swings into Trailbreaker, looks like he's gonna get past my force field, but still only dealing 4 damage. Trailbreaker at 5 I am just fine with. And I do have a big swing from Ion Storm coming in. Play my secret action, play my melee armor, swing Trailbreaker in. Here, I think I'm just looking at what my flips might be. I decided to swing Ion Storm in to bounce the weapon and protect for one more turn. I'm actually surprised there. Maybe I should have swung it with Trailbreaker. I wouldn't have bounced the weapon, but I guess maybe it didn't matter either way. Ion Storm's bulkier. So yeah, putting plenty of damage on Deadlock. I'm not worried about things at this point. There's another Soldier's Blaster. Oh, that's why. Okay, I had an Armaments with me, so yeah. Make him play the Soldier's Blaster, spend a turn playing it, scrap it. That card's really, really good. And here is the end of the game. I swing the Trailbreaker and win. Thanks for playing with me, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, and have a great day. Hope you're enjoying Sealed. Let me know how it is for you.